What's up, Savages? Holy hell, was yesterday just fucking crazy with team change. There's few times in my entire career of esports, and I've been around in 11 years, where I said, that didn't make sense. Okay, yeah, that one definitely didn't. Oh, holy sweet Gregor Mendel, right? But anyways, let's go ahead and hop into today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ghani's Thoughts, brought to you by My Nutrition. I'm Ghani, and today I'm talking about Optic Gaming's new roster. Now, before I continue with this, I want to say one thing and one thing only. Yes, I should be doing a complete video as to all the team changes, but if there's one thing we learned from yesterday, is that a player can join a team and within 3 hours he can leave that team, be on a plane going to the other team's house. I'm of course talking about Parasite, who was on Phase Black, and then all of a sudden he already had a magical plane ticket to bring him back to North Carolina, right? I don't know why it's a water bottle, but you know what I mean. I didn't want to risk doing a video on all the team changes and then it all be wrong. I've learned my lesson from that, right? There's just times where it just completely breaks and there's nothing I can do about that, and no one really knows what's going on, so that's what we're working with. But so today I'm talking about the new Optic Gaming roster. Now, in case you were asleep or you didn't see it trending on Twitter, because the power of Optic's fucking insane, it basically it's the exact same team. It's Nadeshot, Scumpy, Clayster, and instead of Embos, they actually picked up Proofy. Now, Proofy used to be on Optic Gaming. You know, he tweeted like the throwback Thursday of the old jersey that he used to have. So he's obviously super excited to be back on this team. But Embos is gone. But he didn't get dropped off of Optic. No. In fact, they brought back Optic Nation, which by the time this video's up, I'm posting it at 12:30 Central Standard Time, so I'm not sure if he'll have the full roster announced or not, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised, and I said it yesterday, if we see Kill and Miracles on that team. But anyways, moving forward, let's begin. So, right away, my time in Call of Duty has been pretty short. I started in August of 2013, following the competitive scene. Before that, I kind of just knew a couple of the big names, you know. I knew Merc, I knew Rambo, I knew Big T, I knew Aches, I knew TP, and that was just about it. But you know, I did know Optic, and I guess Hastro as well. I knew Optic, I knew Envy, and I knew Leverage, which I think was Aches' team back in the day. But you know, when I used to hear about Call of Duty, it was all about, you know, Optic Gaming. Optic Gaming was this like just dynasty of a team, and then when I kind of got into it, Optic kind of hit this like roller coaster where, you know, they didn't do too well. I mean, since I've been in the scene, Optic they got second at Full Sail, and then from there up until COD Champs, I don't think I was at an event where they placed top 8. Well, I guess US Finals as well, which compliments to Clayster as well on that team. But so I've always been super critical on Optic, just because, you know, when I learned about them, it was just they were this like very prestige team, and so I always kind of kept them up to that caliber. So when I saw them placing outside the top 6 and top 8, I was like, what the shit? But now, this is the first time that I've been able to sit down and say, I genuinely like this Optic Gaming roster. I really, really do. And the first thing that jumps out at everyone is, oh wait, Proofy runs an AR, and now Clayster runs an AR. How is that going to work? Okay, number one, Proofy runs a sub now. When he was on Phase going into COD Champs and Regionals, he was running a sub. I commentated his matches. He did amazing. Proofy is just good at rising to the occasion when he's needed. I always believe that you can always judge a player's skill against the best team in the game, right? Like, that's just it. Like, how a player plays against the top 3, top 2, and especially the top 1 team is how good they are. And Proofy, every time he plays against Complexity, he always has a good game. He always is doing very well, so I think he's going to really bring that in there. I mean, with it, Optic's going to gain a lot of slaying power, which is good, right? And everyone's always kind of like figuring it out now, right? Like, let's see, why is Complexity so good? Yes, it does come down to a lot of gun skill. Yes, it comes down to their slaying power, but they're also super fucking smart, right? And with Optic, you know, as long as this team stays together for just a little bit, they'll be able to challenge Complexity. They really will. I truly believe that. They just have to sit there and continue to grind. I mean, Scump was lights out at COD Champs. Like, that was the Scumpy that I've always heard about that I never watched. So seeing that come out, I was like, what the shit, Scump, man, buddy, you are doing very well. So I think as a whole, this team just got a lot better. And what this is going to do, though, really for Proofy is one, kind of boost him back in there. You know, when he was on Envy, you know, he buys into the brand. When he was on Face, he buys into the brand. It's what he does. So I think it's definitely going to be beneficial. I think he's going to eat up being on Optic again, and I think Optic's going to love having him on there. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He kind of looks like a young Chris Brown, but I truly think that the key to this team is going to be getting the AR dominant maps. And the reason why I say that is because I personally believe that Clayster has the ability of winning games single-handedly for his team, especially on Octane, right? I really do. I think he's just that good of a player. I think Octane Warhawk is definitely going to be their go-to maps, but on the same side, you know, teams are going to pay attention to that, and they're going to try to get rid of them. So they're going to have to keep their vetoes very, very clean. And also, when you think about it, you know, with the addition of Proof, and you have Scump, who was running an AR, and Nadeshot runs an AR occasionally, right? Like if his team calls for it, but you now have another amazing AR on your team. So the transition to the subs is going to be the most important. That's what's going to be interesting to watch the evolution of this team go over. How they play Strike Zone, how much more they grind those sub-dominant maps. And I think that will be interesting. Right off the break, though, looking at this team on paper, guaranteed top 3. I think anything less, it's going to be a little bit ballsy to predict. But obviously, you know, we haven't even seen them scrim. We have to wait for all of that to happen. And I'm assuming they're going to Niagara. So, I mean, it is going to be on the 360, which will change a little bit. And, you know, I think a lot of players are going to take not too long, but, you know, it takes a little bit to get back to used to using that old controller when you're used to using the Xbox One. But literally, I mean, I'm actually excited to watch Optic Gaming play. I mean, I was excited to watch him play at COD Champs, but at like, you know, after regionals, I don't think very many people predicted them in the top 4, let alone the top 3, let alone the team who gave Complexity the best run. So now with this roster, you got a lot of people talking, a lot of people are saying this team got a lot better, and I agree with that. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I love you, but I don't love you. Take it easy. And I have to make you guys watch this. I'm going to do this to you every single time. I love this shit. It looks so freaking cool.